Okay, I just decided I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I feel like a mom who doesn't want to stop breastfeeding. What am I talking about? The cats have not left my bedroom yet. When you get kittens, you're supposed to leave them in one room so that they can get used to the scent, they can get used to you, they can start to realize this is where they're gonna be for the rest of their lives. My kitties have been in quarantine in my bedroom for 6 days, and I don't... When they realize there's a world outside of the bedroom, I feel like they're growing up. But I think they're ready. They have been in the home for 7 days, and I think that it's time. Before I bring them down, okay, so let me explain the whole breastfeeding thing. You know how moms, like when they stop breastfeeding, it's very emotional? This is how I feel about letting my cats out of my bedroom. Like I feel like they're growing up and they don't need me anymore. Woo! So I need to protect my couch. I found these little plastic protectors on Amazon that will keep the cats from scratching.
1 hour later.
The sectional is protected. So in the time that it's taken these guys to get down here, taking their sweet time, the sun... What? What, are you scared? They never meow. Hi, look at you. You're up on the couch. I'm gonna let these guys roam around, get to know their new territory. The meowing, I can't. Gonna let them get to know their new territory. And I'll see you when I see you. All right, time for an unboxing. Listen, I don't know what's in any of these, but what I do know is that we're gonna find out together. Okay, my camera's falling. That's better. I believe that this is a housewarming gift. You know how some people are just so cute that it hurts your heart? One of my best friends growing up, and she's still my best friend, but I believe, if I'm wrong, this is really embarrassing, but my guess is that this is a housewarming gift from her mom, because her mom asked for my address, and it's not her, then like, honey, I got gifts up the yin yang. This is heavy. It is from her. Congrats on your new home, Kiki. Yes, my name is Emmie, but all of my friends from home call me Kiki. It makes no sense at all. We just went with it. This is beautiful. I love it. This matches the whole aesthetic. Thank you so much, Chris. I love it. Then I got some stuff from Amazon, and once again, I have no idea. I have no idea what I ordered. This is the grass, yes. Okay, so if you saw this vlog, then you saw that I ordered some pieces for my dining room table. Let me just insert that footage now. I'm gonna put some dried grass inside each one of these. You know, it starts with a P. Pampas, I think that's what it's called, pampas grass. I also got some string, some wired jute cord. I got 3 of these. So I'm gonna take the glass, I'm gonna put this, and I'm gonna tie it around it. So this is gonna be on the outside of it. And then I'm gonna put the dried grass in it, and that is gonna be the centerpiece for my dining room table. These are the grasses that go inside of it. These are gonna go here because we're gonna make them together. I have my creative assistant, he's on break. We have the sub here. I've decided I'm gonna put my centerpieces together for what I'm gonna put on the dining room table. So the grass that's gonna go in here has not come yet. So I'm gonna take these wired jute cords, wrap them around these, wrap these around as such. Perfect. Now I'm gonna take this pampas grass. I got this on Amazon. It was like 15 bucks, I think, for one of these. Something that I learned when my mom sent me to, I learned how to sew. And something that I learned there was measure twice, cut once, which means you can always take off more. I'm going to need a vacuum like the day is long. You can always take off more, but you know, once it's been taken off, it's been taken off. I like this. Oh my gosh, guys, what? I did this. Dollar store, Amazon. Did my channel just become a DIY channel? It is unboxing time. I got some stuff from Amazon and I'm very excited about this big box. Ah, yes, so I got some silicone covers for just leftovers that I put in the fridge. I am a minimalist. I do not like stuff. The last thing I want is to just have like a bunch of stuff in my house. Instead of having all these plastic containers, you know, when you get takeout from somewhere and you save the container and then you just have like so many containers and like 18 odds and ends and it's just the hot mess express. Instead, what I want to do is just use my plates and bowls, the bowls that I already have that I normally eat out of, and then just put some coverings over them so that I can just have the covers as opposed to having these food containers. What's also great is that these are BPA free. 100% platinum cured, okay good, the cat is eating the plastic. These 100% platinum cured silicone lids are simple to use, eco-friendly, and durable. Say goodbye to warped plastic lids and messy plastic wrap. So they stretch over whatever it is. Like if this was in a cup, you'd stretch this over a cup. And then of course there are the larger ones that I can stretch over bowls. This is from Plant Therapy. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in here. A diffuser. Stop it. Oh my goodness. An oil diffuser, and then all of the essential oils, and it's the Christmas blend. I'm so excited about this. Candy cane Christmas tree, gingerbread, holly berries, sugar plum, and winter wreath. Stop. This is really unexpected and just so kind of them. They are so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna smell gingerbread because that is probably such a good one. Oh my God, that is unreal. Oh my God, this is like a genuine, guys, they're not paying me for this. Like this is just, this is real. Sugar plum, it's probably a good one. Gingerbread, like has to be the best. These smell so good. That tastes just like bubble gum. I feel like I'm chewing bubble gum when I smell sugar plum. And I think they got me the hand soap too, the sugar plum hand soap. And then what I wanted was just cleaning products. So I have some multi-surface cleaners, and one of them is the holly berries flavor and the other one is the Christmas tree flavor. I am like very, very impressed. So of course they're vegan, there's no animal byproducts, there's no bleach, chloride, DEA dyes, parabens, phosphates, sulfates. Wow, this stuff is 10 out of 10. They got me hand soap. That was the sugar plum flavor. This is the last thing that's in there. I feel so grateful right now. So the other night I had Healthy Family over for dinner, and something that I wanted to chat about is something that a lot of people are very, very insecure about, which is when their plate looks different from everybody else's, or when their diet looks different from everybody else's, or their plate looks the same, but the reality is that their diet is different from everybody else's, but they feel self-conscious about the food on their plate being different, and so they just eat what everybody else is eating, even though they don't want to be eating that, and they actually want to be eating a healthy, whole foods, plant-based diet, but everybody else is having this thing, they don't want to stick out, so they just go with the flow, and then they feel guilty after. If this is something that you struggle with, then listen up, honey. This is something that I talk about with my clients all the time, and I even created an entire module inside of the Slim on Starch program called Social School for this very reason, because I found that this was a huge struggle. People could say, you know, if it's just me, like I'm moving and grooving, I love eating this way, I got this. But once other people become involved and I have to go to somebody else's house for dinner, or we're having people for dinner, or I just have a social gathering, and whenever other people get involved that aren't eating this way, that's when it becomes difficult. And it becomes difficult for a number of reasons. And so let's chat about these, let's get real, and let me tell you my real thoughts, my real opinion, and my real advice for you for how you can navigate this. Because if you're watching this video, you probably want to be eating this whole foods plant-based diet day in and day out, but you have difficulty with that when it comes to the social situation. So one of the reasons why I find that people have difficulty in social situations around food is that they're insecure about the food on their plate. They're insecure about the fact that their food looks different from everybody else's. Well, let me show you what my plate looked like in comparison to my family's plates the other night when I had them for dinner. And at the end of this, I'm gonna be doing a little whoop so you can actually see I vlogged a little bit of dinner. But anyway, my plate looked totally different from everybody else's. And when I first came onto this lifestyle, I felt a little funny about that, the fact that my plate looked different from everybody else's. Then I realized there's something called the spotlight effect. It's a psychological phenomenon where we believe that there's this huge spotlight on us and that everybody is looking at us. My cat is now playing with the tripod. It's like when you have a pimple or something that you're a little bit self-conscious of, or you got a bad haircut or something along those lines. You don't want to go out in public because you're like, they're looking at my pimple, they're looking at my pimple, they're looking at my pimple. Okay, he's in the tree. The cat is in the tree. The reality is, think about if somebody that you knew had a pimple. I remember my boyfriend walked in the other day, he goes, I have a pimple, don't look at it. And I was like, I literally would not have even noticed if you didn't say that. We have this spotlight on us and we think that everybody's analyzing our every move. But let's think about when you go out to dinner and somebody else's plate looks different from yours. Are you looking at their plate? No, not really. You're just too self-conscious about yourself. Everybody has the spotlight effect. So everybody thinks that there's this huge spotlight on them of they're looking at me, they're looking at my plate, they're looking at my clothes, they're looking at my hair, they're looking at my nails. The reality, I hate to break it to you, but nobody cares. There's this meme and it's like, nobody cares about me. Wait, nobody cares about me. What it means is do whatever it is that you want to do. We think that everybody is looking at our plate, analyzing our every move. The likelihood of that is pretty low. And the reality is that these cats are about to start fighting in the background. I can see. The reality is that people probably aren't looking too much at what you're eating. At the end of the day, people only really care about themselves. When they go to bed at night, they're not thinking, oh. Here's the reality. The spotlight effect, everybody is experiencing it. So everybody thinks they're looking at me, they're looking at me, they're looking at me. The reality is nobody's looking at anybody. All people are looking at is themselves. Everybody's just self-conscious of themselves. So let's just do whatever you want to do. Eat whatever you want to eat and build your plate however you want to build your plate. So that's the first thing. Your insecurity is probably not, I hate to use the word invalid, but it's really not based in reality. You are insecure because everybody's looking at your plate, when the reality is people probably aren't looking at your plate. So go for it. Make the plate that you want to make and eat the food that you want to eat, because at the end of the day, when people go to bed at night, they're not going to be thinking about whether there were potatoes on your plate. They're going to be thinking about, you know, am I going to make my mortgage this month? Is my kid got a bad grade on his test? You know, there is so much going on in people's lives. And I hate to break it to you, honeys, but what is on your plate is likely at the bottom of that list. Reason number 2 that I find why people have a difficult time when it comes to social situations and food is the temptation. So when you're eating something and everybody else is eating something else, it's like, oh, okay, that food looks really good. It smells really good. So what do you do in those situations where there's other food around you? There's popcorn, there's chips, there's pizza, there's nachos, there's wings, whatever it is. And you are like, oh my gosh, that food looks good. I'm tempted, I'm tempted, I'm tempted. We want you to do 2 things. Replace, don't restrict. So whatever it is that everybody else is having, instead of saying, I'm not having it, I'm not having it, I'm not having it, say, I am having, and then whatever it is that you've brought for yourself, whether it's fresh fruit, whether it's chopped up veggies and some homemade hummus, some cowboy caviar, you always got to bring something with you so that you're prepared, so that you can replace whatever it is that everybody else is having. So you're still engaging in having some fun foods and eating and hanging out with everybody, but what's on your plate is just a little bit different. No big deal. The second thing is I really want you to focus on what the purpose of being with one another is. The saying break bread has nothing to do with bread. If you Google what does break bread mean? It means to form a meaningful connection with somebody over a meal. It doesn't mean to eat bread. So when you break bread with people, or when you have these occasions where food is involved, the food really has nothing to do with the occasion. The whole purpose of the occasion is to be with others. So keep that at the forefront and really fill up on all of that as opposed to whatever junky food is there. The third reason why I find that people find it difficult to keep this way of eating up in social situations is because they feel as though they're being sort of rude to whoever it is that is hosting them or who got the food for them. I think that so often we undervalue honesty. And so people will say to me, they'll say, Emmie, I feel so bad because this person made me this, but I'm doing the Slim on Starch program, and whatever it is that they made me, it was so nice of them to make it for me, but I just really don't feel good when I'm eating that food, and I want to stay slim on starch. And I go, have you told them that? And they're like, well, of course not. And I'm like, well, you're telling the wrong person. You're telling me that, but you should be telling them that. If you're completely honest with somebody, if somebody loves you enough to make something for you, then they're gonna love you enough to understand what it is that you're explaining to them. Exactly what you would say to me, say it to the person that really needs to hear it. And if you have that conversation one time, then it's done with. If you just put that conversation off, put it off, you're making it just more and more difficult for yourself. And you're gonna have to fight this battle every single time this person makes the vegan cupcakes for you, when you could just have a straight up honest conversation with them and say, I appreciate so much that you made it for me, but I've started this new way of eating and it makes me feel so good, and I just feel so bad because I want to eat the food because you made it for me and I don't know what to do. They'll say, oh my God, I had no idea. Like, that's totally fine. I want to make something for you. What can I make for you? Then you say to them, do you know what would be like so amazing? If you made me a nice fresh fruit platter, like a charcuterie board, but it's really just all these different fresh fruits, or some homemade hummus that doesn't have any oil in it. Like, that would be amazing. Then you've solved this problem for the rest of your life. Just be honest with people. We so undervalue honesty, and people will come to me and say things and I'm like, honey, what are you telling me for? You go and you tell that person that. And sometimes I do have to be that step between this is what I want to say, and then I can help you sort of reformulate a little bit, and then let's go actually say it to that person, report back to me, and then we can move on with the rest of our lives. But like I said, if they love you enough to be baking for you, then they sure as heck love you enough to be able to bake what it is that you want them to make. I mean, how bad would you feel if you were making something for somebody, or if somebody, okay, let's think of it this way. Let's say that you are a jeweler and you make jewelry, and you make jewelry that has people's names on it, right? And you are making a necklace for Rachel. So you make the necklace, it's beautiful, whatever, Rachel, and you give it to her. I made you this necklace, and Rachel is so nice that she's not gonna say a darn thing because her name is actually spelled Rachel. But you made the necklace and you spelled it Rachel. You spelled your name wrong. Would you want Rachel to tell you? Of course you would want Rachel to tell you, because you spelled her name wrong. She's not gonna wear a necklace. She probably is, because she's so nice, gonna wear a necklace that has her name spelled wrong. So what you need to do is communicate that your name is Rachel and it's spelled in this certain way. So now let's get into what supper with Healthy Family looked like. So for everybody else, I made pasta and vegan meatballs, and they loved it. I got the meatless meatballs from Trader Joe's. My mom is still doing Slim on Starch with the whole cholesterol thing, so we have a cholesterol update coming up, which I'm super excited about. Oh, I cannot wait to film that. So she and I ate Slim on Starch while the boys, my dad, my brother, and my boyfriend had the vegan pasta and meatballs, and it was a hit. The whole thing was gone. So that was what they had, and then we had Slim on Starch foods. Now, I also want to say, before my parents came over, before my parents and my brother came over, I had a bowl of oatmeal. Why did I have this bowl of oatmeal right before we were gonna have dinner? Because I so much wanted to just enjoy the time with my family. I didn't want to be thinking about food. So I had a bowl of oatmeal right before they came so that I wasn't gonna be that hungry, so that I didn't really have to think about food at all. And if there were other foods around, I wouldn't be tempted. So that's a, oh, hi. So that's a hot tip as well. Do you like that tip? Tiger uses that tip too. So that's a hot tip. If you are having people over for dinner, if you're going somewhere, eat something before so that you're not as tempted to eat that food when you're there. So I had a bowl of oatmeal, and I'll just show you how I made the oatmeal. So all I did was I took my oats, I took my water. By the way, people are saying, how much did you have? How much did you have? At this certain time, this was just what I was eating right before we had dinner. I did a half a cup of oats. And I'm not saying that that's how much you should eat. I'm just saying at this time, right before I had dinner, I had a half a cup of oats. So I did a half a cup of oats mixed with about a cup, a little bit more of water. Microwave that for 3 minutes. I mixed in some ground flaxseed as well. And then I mixed in some banana and some cinnamon. And that is my oatmeal recipe. All right, so everybody should be here in about an hour. So I have just everything prepped out so that when everybody gets here, we'll be good to go. So I have the Dutch oven that I'm gonna cook the pasta in, and I've put the water in there so that, you know, when it's time, it's a trick I learned from my dad, is to fill it up with water so that when it's time, you can just turn on the stove. We've got the pasta, we have got, even the spoon is out, even the strainer is out, the sauce is out. The broccoli is cooking, and then I have all of the veggies laid out. So pasta for the boys, veggies for the gals. So we got Brussels zucchini, some cauliflower is currently in the microwave. Once again, I just kind of want everything to be ready when everybody gets here so that we can relax, and then when we want to eat, we can just kind of heat it up. So the broccoli is steaming, everything is laid out, and I have got the table all set. In my kitchen tour, which is coming soon, I'm gonna tell you where I got all of this dinnerware, so you'll have to wait until the kitchen tour. I got this cute little family time 50 conversation starters, so we can do those while we sit and hang out. I have put up the tree. I'm gonna put the fire on. I'm gonna put some music on the television, the cat toy, and yeah, we're getting this thing going. So we have everything ready to go. So we have the ziti and the bread and the meatballs, and we're gonna get it going, and I'm gonna make mine.
And my advice is to have the authorities here, proper authority. Don't break that part. Yeah, so that's what you need to think about.
That's a wrap for this vlog, my honeys. I'll see you in the next one.
Woo!